sustained a calf injury during their 20-12 loss against the Seattle Seahawks. The Jaguars follow up their London trip with a bye as Lloyd hopes to return after a 2-week recovery. It's 82 degrees at 2 o'clock time in 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
And our favorite in-studio guest, no offense to any other in-studio guests, but Aaron Beasley hanging out with us as he does every Tuesday. Aaron, how on earth did the Jaguars let Jackson Smith-Njigba have 8 catches for over 160 yards? Can you answer that question, please? Tell all of Duval what happened.
I think it was a lot of what they saw on film from earlier, copycat league.
Yep.
They narrowed the splits. So what happens is, as a defense or corner, you have to play outside leverage because there's so much field outside of you. And what they do is they run, we always call it bait. They run bait at the safety to make him question if it's going to be a deep route, because when you play quarters coverage, which they were in, once the number 2 receivers, which is the tight end, once he goes vertical, you kind of buy each other's guy. So he came up vertical, and all it takes is one stutter step in the game, and that's all it was. He had the depth that Dewey took a false step, and they ran the post. And like I said earlier, if you're outside leverage, there's no way you can cover that.
You can
much
squeeze
field.
that. Yeah, that was the long bomb. I think the other times they were so off coverage. He worked really good. Was it Buster? He had him turned all around, and Jigba was unbelievable. But Buster started off, and Travis too. Both started off like 10 yards. I don't know if you can give that guy that kind of cushion, man.
Yeah, it's free release. Because everything up there is choreography. The timing and rhythm is everything. And I wish we would have kind of did some of that stuff.
That's what I was going to say. It's
right.
if the Seahawks are able to take advantage of the Jaguars' quarters coverage, why don't the Jaguars take advantage of the Seahawks when that happens? And I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah. I don't know if I do either. You know what I mean?
I sat up there with Jimmy Smith, and we watched the whole, just watching, because we always talk offense, defense. And, the one thing I see is we didn't have anything with Brian Thomas out there by himself. He was always tight. So he's going to get doubled.
You mean our offense?
Yeah, our offense. And like what I saw, and Jimmy said it too, they didn't run the Jimmy Smith route.
Right.
The 10-yard out.
Right.
The 10-yard curl.
Thank you.
It's called a semi. So a semi is a 5-step drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's thrown on time. There is no way to stop that route, as we saw Jimmy Smith get all those balls like that.
And we even saw Brian Thomas Jr. the week before.
And De'Ami Brown.
Sure.
Especially to his left.
Right.
Trevor's really good at that out route to the left. We didn't see any of those pitch and catch, bread and butter type plays, and I think they got to bring those back in, because that gives Trevor a lot of confidence.
What was your initial thoughts when the trade happened? Because we talked to you before the Tyson Campbell is gone and Greg Newsome came in. What were your initial thoughts of that, and how do you feel now?
I still think it's a good trade. I mean, first of all, the money involved frees up some salary cap for us earlier. But at the same time, I talked to Baselli on Sunday about the trade. You know, me and DB, I'm like, why'd you make that trade? And, we both had the same thing. It was like an all-around corner versus, Tyson's, yes, he's a physical corner, he can tackle, but, if you're 4 or 5 years in and you only have 3 interceptions, something is not there. You can't just make a person into a ball hawk.
Right.
That's instinct. That's, I had that since high school, and like you can't teach that.
Well, look, if you're not intercepting the ball, you got to knock the ball down. I mean, there are too many receptions against Tyson, right? And it just in routes, dig routes, whatever. He was always there. He'd be right there. It wasn't like he's getting burned down the field, but he wasn't making a play on the ball, and if he was too late. They were completing way too many passes. Let's talk about the quarters coverage, would we? Because I know Coach Liam Cohen talked to the press yesterday, talking about a quarters beater. So we have quarters coverage. We're talking about the bomb to Njigba that Newsome was on the outside, and then Dewey was late on the inside. But talk about that as far as quarters. So quarters means the 2 corners and the 2 safeties each have a quarter of the field all the way to the end zone. To wherever. Basically. as far back as you go. Okay, so on this side we had the tight end and the receiver on the outside. We had outside leverage for Newsome. They both ran up the field, both meaning the tight end and the receiver. The tight end stopped and did an out route at 10, and the receiver did a post.
See,
right? So how is that supposed to be played? Let's start with that.
When you explain it that way, like it's really about communication, because when they're tight like that, it was a tight slot. You know, they weren't spread out enough to lock the corner. Sometimes you can lock the corner, and he knows I got him by myself. But what happens there, you have to zone it off. So I would stay on the outside quarter, Dewey would stay on the inside quarter, or Donovan would stay on the inside quarter, and we just both backpedal until they made their break.
Okay.
Keeping our quarters, because what happens when they spread out, I can't see as far in there, you know. Right. I can see both of these guys coming at me, and I'll know to just stay outside, and right. Donovan would take the post, and I would take the corner or the out.
Okay, if it was a corner route, right, like a 7 route, right? So the tight end basically just did a little out route. So is it natural for the safety to take a step up, or should he be seeing that outside guy coming peripheral and be like talking with the corner, hey man, stay deep, and then wait till he throws it or breaks or what?
We usually have a golden rule, you know, once he gets past 10 yards, then you buy him. Okay. But you can't do that when they're that tight. And it's a stack formation when they're stacked.
So that's why it was a beater, I guess.
It's an automatic zone. You automatically got to zone that.
Go ahead.
So I was going to say, so the beater is making that safety jump on that vertical because you're thinking it's a vertical when it's not really a vertical.
Yes.
So I think the question becomes, do the Jaguars have good enough safeties at this point in time? I think they started off the season playing really well, and Dewey Wingard and Eric Murray. But the last couple weeks, we've seen some major issues. And so I think there is a level of concern at this point in time that maybe Andrew Wingard is good at certain things and isn't always good enough to be out there as far as.
Well, I tell you, B said copycat league. Guess what the Rams are going to do on Sunday? They're going to run the same play and see if we fixed our coverage. Yeah, for sure.
So I just wonder, should someone else maybe be starting over him at this point in time?
I really can't say that.
Ray and Lane.
Everybody gets beat. Everybody gives up a play. I just think he needs to just tighten up the technique, or there should be some more communication, because maybe Greg didn't know that that's how they play it, and he would have got more over the top.
Right.
So I feel like, you know.
You're new here. Here you go. Go cover Jackson Smith and
they were confused with Tyson. It was the same play with there was a confusion there too. So
that's maybe a little bit on coaching in addition to the players.
Yes.
Like that's
and for the record, against Kansas City, Dewey blitzed on a great blitz. It was Eric Murray that was the one that jumped that tight end or whatever it was that they thought was going vertical. Which, in their defense, if I may, so like an out pattern is 10 and 45-degree cut. A 7's about 12 and then a 45-degree angle. If it's a 7, the safety's got him, unless they really do an in and out communication, correct?
Yes.
But if it's a 10 and straight out, it's not. So you see how close that is to, and if they really sell it, you can see why the safety would take a step, but he's not supposed to. He's got to be patient, wait for this, and then, make something happen.
There you go.
Yeah, eye discipline.
It is.
Yeah, you're right.
Totally.
Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
By the way, you mentioned the contract earlier as far as Greg Newsome and Tyson Campbell in that trade. According to Spot Track, the Jaguars converted $8.8 million of Greg Newsome's salary into signing bonus, adding 4 void years, creating $7 million of cap space for 2025. So, of course, as we know, the trade deadline, November 4th, is coming up very quickly. And so the Jaguars have around $12 million to work with. And, of course, that's why I bring up safety. You could also bring up maybe another pass rusher, potentially a tight end, offensive line, left tackle. There's a lot of needs on a team for this team that we thought maybe was a little bit better than what we've seen at least this past Sunday.
I feel like Gladstone's in front of this big pot. And he's just
stirring something.
It's got a little Halloween background.
Which way would you like him to go? Which route, if he brought one position group in here?
I'd say left tackle after this past Sunday.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it.
He called Walker in the office and was like, we got to chat.
I feel it directly affects the quarterback, which is the most important position on the field. So that's it for me.
Yeah, I would go left tackle too. You just got to ensure it. I mean, look, we, all throughout camp, we were wondering why they didn't, address that left tackle. And Walker was the left tackle.
Fred Johnson was here.
All the way. Yeah, but Walker held him off. He did. Cole was injured, so we don't know if he would ever had a chance. But, Walker was their left tackle. They decided to go with, guys to bring in maybe that would push him, maybe not. He was going to be the left. I felt like felt like he was going to be the left tackle going in. He was fine for a little while, but that's Walker Little. Like, he'll be fine for a little while, and then there's a major breakdown, and then your quarterback's getting killed. I mean, he got Trevor hit a few times, like really good shots. And if it was the old school league, Trevor would have a split chin and been drilled into the ground, rocked like crazy.
I meant to say that yesterday. Of all the things I'm grateful for, 4-2 is certainly at the top of the list. But the fact that Trevor Lawrence escaped that game healthy is something that is huge because of what we've seen in the past. All right, the Jaguars made some roster moves. I want to get to that. On the other side, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Bought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. A great drive takes more than a set of wheels.
Fully loaded, I think is the term.
Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville brings you the drive of the game.
Just one thing. Yeah. Don't push any of the buttons on that car.
On 1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here. I always talk about the guidance, the great coaching I get with Awaken 180 weight loss. My coach Kate has given me tremendous guidance, has talked me through the process. As a result, I lost over 100 pounds. I'm still on the maintenance program. It's absolutely fantastic. Well, for the month of October, if you call Awaken 180 weight loss, you will get a free consultation. A free consultation during the month of October with Awaken 180 weight loss. If you need to start your weight loss journey like I had to do something. My life was not pleasant at 317 pounds. Awaken 180 gave me my life back. If it's time for you to get involved with your weight loss, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. And in the month of October, get a free consultation with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hey, Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. Hey, this is Tom McManus, former Jaguar. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated, and we are J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Covered by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Early detection saves lives. This month, join Ackerman Cancer Center to go light blue and take action with prostate screening and their expert guidance. Book your screening consult and experience the Ackerman Advantage at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville is game time, and just like the Jaguars fight for every yard on the field, Duck Duck Rooter fights for every customer at home. From plumbing repairs to septic pump outs to keeping your AC cool all season long, we've got the winning playbook. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and delivers championship service every time. When plumbing, septic, or AC problems put you on defense, don't fumble the call. Dial 904-862-6769 or visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Don't ghost your carpet this fall. Hicken here. Right now, you can get your entire home zero-resified from Jacksonville's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus a free haul for Halloween. Get it? There's something scarier than ghosts and goblins hiding in your home. It's in your air ducts. This month, take 50% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards and forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. The online banking services are outstanding. So easy to use, depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards for 3 years running, and it's easy to see why. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
We go together, better than birds of a feather, you and me.
By the way, fun drinking game for this week. If you want to play with water, that's perfectly fine. I'm not telling you to drink alcohol every time you hear these words, but across the pond. With the Jaguars playing in London this week at Wembley, you will hear across the pond so many times. I've already heard it several times already this week. So just FYI, if you want to stay hydrated, drink water or electrolytes.
Don't want to stay hydrated.
If you want
Is that pest of the day? People
no,
that say
not at all.
that.
No, I understand why the people say it. I know I say it for
Yeah.
sure when the Jaguars do play over there. And so we know they left last night around 6 p.m. They landed safely on the wee hours of the morning, London time. I believe they have today off, and then they'll be at practice tomorrow morning. And then, of course, we'll
Like a
hear
regular
from Liam
week.
Cohen. Yeah,
Yeah.
very much like a regular week. And because they have their bye week next week, they really did want that team bonding this week, which is why they went early. The Rams, on the flip side, played the Ravens, of course, this past weekend, beat them 17-3. I thought they would beat them, honestly, more, or not necessarily beat them by more, but score more points.
Yeah.
With just the 17 against the depleted
With that Ravens defense,
yeah. And no Lamar Jackson. And then the Rams are staying in Baltimore this week, and then they'll leave Friday.
Wow.
And so it's a much quicker turnaround, but
Yeah.
that's how they decided they want to do it. And every team approaches it differently.
Do they have a bye week? Do we know the Rams after?
I'm not
You know what I
sure.
mean? I mean, well, I don't understand why every team wouldn't take the bye week. That seems perfect to take
I know
it.
the
Right
Jaguars
after then,
have not in the past.
Yeah,
taken
they
a
said
bye week.
no
they haven't,
But
right.
the Rams do have the bye week. Their next game
Okay.
Yeah, November 2nd.
Yeah, they play host to the
Okay.
Saints the
Yeah,
same
that's
day
what I
that the
would do.
Jaguars take on the Raiders in
Yeah.
Vegas.
So make it a normal week over there, and then get the week off, and then
Yep.
you're back to normal. Yeah, that's perfect.
Back to normal is right. All right, a couple roster moves for the Jaguars. They signed tight end Jordan Akins to the practice squad. They released Kadir Ismail from the practice squad. Also tight end. They ruled linebacker Devin Lloyd with the calf injury out ahead of this Sunday's game, as well as tight end Quentin Morris with an abductor groin injury. That one surprises
Neither one
me.
traveled.
Neither one traveled to London. The Devin Lloyd one doesn't surprise me. I mean, the fact that he's not traveling at all means that it is certainly very significant, or more significant than I originally thought.
Especially with not saying anything at all, like during the broadcast.
Right.
It was just kind of, we saw Devin standing there and everyone was like, what's happening?
Yeah, I texted Brian. I was like, have they said something on the TV broadcast?
They
'Cause
never
have
did.
said nothing in the press box, which makes absolutely no sense. And they decided not to. That was the coach's decision, which I understand with calf tightness, you're worried about an Achilles. So he obviously, like we said, didn't travel. The Quentin Morris one, I have no idea when he got hurt. I know he plays a lot of special teams, but there was also no announcement for that either, so I don't know when that injury occurred.
Right. Are they calling Devin lower leg or calf?
They're saying calf.
Yeah, so,
it
man,
was
that's-
tightness in the calf, and the fact that he didn't travel at all means obviously they
That's
weren't
pretty.
that
Yeah, it must be significant, to not go at all. But at the same time, if they feel like he just rehab here, and by the time they get back to practice, that'll be 2 weeks. Yeah, he should be all healed up and ready to go.
And Brenton Strange, it could be 4 games that he's missing. It could also be more than that. Liam spoke to that too. So that injury still baffles me that he didn't even go. Brenton didn't even go into the locker room, have any sort of testing during the game. He just stayed on the sidelines, and now it could be so many, missing more than the 4 games. I feel like you always see a player either go in the medical tent or go in the locker room if it's
So
going
you
to
have
be a
some sort of
significant
indication.
injury.
That's what, Tommy, did you ever, because we were talking about it after, we saw him on the sideline, obviously, with the towel on his head, and you kind of knew he was done for the day at that point. We didn't know the extent. But did you ever see what play it even happened on with Britton Strange?
No, I didn't. Well, there was one tackle that he kind of got hit in the hip area.
Okay.
And it felt like he kind of got a little, like his body got contorted a little bit. I don't know if that was it.
Yeah.
But listen, I mean, if it was a knee, he wouldn't be standing there, or he'd be on crutches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it was an upper body injury, he'd probably be inside.
Yeah, it was a quad hip is what they
so they probably, they don't give you an MRI, I guess, right away, maybe. So they probably didn't know the significance of it. And maybe he's just got a high tolerance for pain. And he's like, nah, I can hang and I want to watch the team. You know, they probably gave him the option.
Yeah.
You know, now if he's, excruciating pain, he's not going to be standing there. So, obviously it's a significant enough injury they had to put him on IR. But I don't think they, once they did the MRI imaging, they found maybe a tear or whatever. Was it labrum? Did I hear labrum in that, or was it more the quad?
It was
more of a quad tear.
Hip, yeah.
I mean, when they say strain or sprain, there's a tear in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Like it could be small to significant, but listen, it's fun. It's not funny. You see the difference when he's not out there.
Yeah.
You see the difference with even Trayvon out there, but not effective. I mean, it's a different offense and defense with those two guys out of the lineup.
Yeah, if I told you before the season the Jaguars would be 4-2, but they've had games without De'Ami Brown, without Trayvon Walker, without Britton Strange, without Devin Lloyd going into now week 6 or week 7, you would have said there's no way the Jaguars are going to be 4-2 at that point in time.
At least with Lloyd, I feel good about Ventrell. I think he can play. He can hold the fort down. He may not come up with interception, but he may. I think he's a pretty active player, but he can fill the void a little bit for Devin.
He gets to the ball.
Yeah, he gets to the ball, and he delivers it too.
Yeah, with anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a violent player. The
is.
concern has always been, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of people thought he would beat Devin Lloyd out for that linebacker position opposite Foye.
We had the or for a while with that
That's
one.
right. I think a lot of people thought.
I'm sure we still do.
Yeah, there might still be.
Yeah, right. Devin would be gone. I think some people felt like because they didn't do the 5th-year option that that maybe his future wasn't, here.
It is still an or, by the way.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make any changes to the depth
At
chart.
this point,
right.
But that's why we've been giving so much credit to Devin, because it was coming into a season where you didn't get that 5th-year option, and you were battling Ventrell to this point where there's the or on the depth chart, and he's played so well. So I do think that when it comes to a player like that, I think Ventrell can play well enough to where you don't see a significant drop off. But what Lloyd's been able to do in the beginning of the season, especially with the turnovers, that's, I mean, we're talking about he already has 4, and the record in Jacksonville, he would beat it if he hit 8.
Yeah, 4 interceptions is insane for someone that, we wondered all offseason what the future held for him. And now we're on the flip side going, yes, Ventrell may play well, but I just don't know that he's going to have that same
impact.
Takeaway ability.
It just shows you when you don't have pressure, the takeaways don't come. Takeaways come most of the time when you have pressure on that QB and disrupting that timing. But Darnold had too much time back there, and there was 0 takeaways. Both teams, right? Neither team had a takeaway. I think, right? There were no fumbles. There were no interceptions.
There was a fumble that was recovered, if I remember correctly.
Was there?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Sometimes I watch so much football that it all
starts to blend together.
I know. You're like, did that happen?
Or weeks start to blend together.
right.
You're like, was that this week or last week?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's hear from Liam Cohen. We talked in the first segment about those big plays, those quarter beaters that the Seahawks had against the Jaguars. Here is Liam Cohen yesterday talking about how those killed the defense.
We let the ball get thrown over our heads a few times. That's a tough world if you let up 2 60-yarders. And then I will say this, Seattle did a great job of calling their shots against the exact coverages that you would want those plays to be drawn up in. Tough one on obviously the post that went, but they hit us on a couple overs to Cup and one in JSN on the over versus 3 deep got us. We stopped the run the way we wanted to. We won 3rd down. Played stout in the red area on the 1 3rd down where they ran it, and we got it made them kick a field goal. We did some really good things, but ultimately those big plays, man, they're killing us.
And those big plays did kill them, for sure. I mean, outside of that, the defense did play well. They did not, like we said, get any takeaways. But I do think that Anthony Campanile is still learning, right? It is his first time as a defensive coordinator, and he's had to go against, the likes of Kyle Shanahan to this point in the season. He's about to go against Sean McVay, and I think Clint Kubiak did a really good job.
Yeah, they did. And again, we're happy they're 4-2, right? And they've got a great chance to go to London and really give the Rams a run for their money and end up 5-2. It just feels like that whole inconsistency part again. You take like the defense; they were phenomenal, except 4 or 5 plays. Trevor was really good, except maybe 4 or 5 plays. Walker Little was really good, except maybe 4 or 5 plays. You catch what I'm getting at here. We got to shorten that up. Yeah. Like, it can't be, you're going to get beat. That happens, but it can't be
4, 5, 6 times a game.
A game where it's deciding the game, and their errors. It's not like just getting beat. I know the announcer's like, he just outran him. Well, he did, but it was outside leverage. It's easy to run away from outside leverage and look like you're just running past the guy, and the safety's not there. If the safety's there, that may be a contested ball. The other big chunk, Wingard lost him. He bid on the fake, and then he lost him. The tight end got behind him, and then he's playing catch-up. That's another mental error. That's that's not him just getting beat. That's him just losing his guy and then biting on that fake, and then the guy's behind him. And next thing you know, they got another 60-yarder. What were we gonna say?
And that's when you said earlier, do you need to find new safeties? I don't think that would solve anything. Just because, like you said, it was just a technique error more than anything. Yep. Wingard's a smart guy, and we watched the play again. Yep. And he should have never bid on that route. Right.
It didn't threaten his deep quarter enough for him to jump when he jumped. Not jumped. He didn't jump, but stepped forward on that. But, look, it wasn't just him either. I mean, there were plays the corners didn't make. We had no pressure. Obviously, that goes hand in hand. I don't care who's back there. We've seen it with Jake Browning. We've seen it with just about anybody. If they have time, they're going to hit their guys. And I tell you what, if you don't get to Stafford, he's going to put up 500 yards on you and 5 touchdowns like that. Oh, yeah. He is that good.
Even without Puka.
Yeah, no doubt.
I saw that arm in person. I saw that arm in person when he was at Detroit. Oh. And wow. Yeah. I'm talking about Calvin Johnson. Yeah. Just throwing 80-yard, and it looked like it was nothing. I couldn't believe how strong his arm was.
That must
have
been fun to watch.
He still has it, and he has the touch.
Yeah.
He's an all-around great quarterback.
He is.
It looked like the Jaguars were the secondary that were missing pieces, not the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's true.
No, right.
Well, think about it, too. A new corner coming in, first week here. I mean, he's probably used to different calls and communication. I mean, that's another factor as well, coming to a new team. And just getting thrown in there.
Right away.
Was that his first play? I felt like that was his first play.
I felt like it was one of his first plays if it wasn't. I do feel like now in retrospect, maybe they don't have Newsome play in this game because of the newness, right? He landed on Thursday, first practice on Friday. Maybe you do have Travis Hunter in there more often, or you have Buster Brown in there more often. And so, and again, it's not all Newsome's fault like we've detailed, but I do feel like they were so eager to get him in, that shiny new toy, and it's like, well, you still have corners on this roster that may be better right now because of the communication.
Where is Jarian?
I saw him play on special teams.
Yeah,
and
why
that's all we've seen.
Some run at that corner if they need corner, help.
They obviously like Buster more than that, and they like Travis
I like
Hunter
Buster too. Buster made some good plays.
It is interesting.
You like saying Buster?
I do. Yeah, that's a great name. I tell you, that one pass breakup, watching it yesterday, him driving on that route, that was.
Yeah,
that
he
was
made
a
two
beautiful
back-to-back
thing.
plays that it felt like that was if the Jaguars were going to come back and win that game, it felt like those would have been turning points if the offense had been able to score.
The first one, Darnold threw it late, so he made up for that space. But that second one, he threw it on time. It was a great throw. It would have been a catch, but man, he cut and drove right on it and made a nice pace. It was great. Yeah, he did. That was nice.
I mentioned Travis Hunter. Bees, what did you think of his performance this week?
He was quiet this week to me. Like even on defense. I mean, he was around the plays, but I didn't see any. I don't know. I think it's tough being in a zone corner and you don't have the pressure like we usually have.
Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons that this game went the way it went. 7 sacks versus 1.
Right.
Usually you're gonna lose that game.
How about bread and butter to him on offense? Like that's like he could do that out route all day long and nobody would be able to keep up with that.
But it's like they knew that play was coming. The screen.
Yeah, the screen.
I mean, they were on it. They were calling that out. before he even motioned.
Yeah.
Well, they know Liam Cohen loves the screen game.
Yeah.
They had just faced the Bucks, who also, of course, love the spring game. The screen game. I love spring games in college football. That has nothing to do with today. I said this yesterday, Bees. Yesterday or Sunday was the first time I was a little disappointed with the play calling
Game
from
planning.
Liam Cohen.
I didn't like game planning at
I agree
all.
with that.
Especially when you know you have 3 of their secondary out.
Correct.
I would have been throwing that out to Brian all game.
Yeah, and listening to Coach Ingram on the show, I was listening on the way in. He's like, look, you gotta go back to like 19 rushes. Like you gotta give me 5 where you're like, listen, just go out there and pound that line. Give it all you got, and let's see if we can just get a little something going. He's like, don't abandon the run, and I agree with that. I mean, I don't think you needed another 10 or 15 carries. Don't get me wrong, but I think you needed a little bit more. I think you put it too much in the passing game, too much in those screens, those bubble screens. Bees will tell you, man, you sniff it out, it's over.
Yeah.
It's just over. Like, I don't care who's catching the ball. If that DB or whoever defender's out there, if they beat that block and they snuff it out real quick, it's going to be a loss almost every time.
I feel like this team doesn't have a running back that can really run between the tackles. And against the Seahawks, I feel like that style of back would have been a little bit better. Like Etienne just wasn't going to gain the yards that he needed to. The offensive line wasn't going to be able to create enough space for him. And he's a guy that needs that space. He's got good vision. But a guy like Bijan Robinson, I feel like, then you can run the football as many times as you want to, and he can do it all. But it's a situation on Sunday where you feel like maybe the Jags have a little advantage as far as the travel goes, and then maybe all the other advantages almost seem to go with the Rams. Yeah, the quarterback, the coach, the offensive line, the pass rush, the running backs.
They can run the ball.
Yeah, it probably all goes. Receivers maybe with the Jags if Puka Nakua is out, but other than that, it feels like the Rams have a lot of the on-field advantages.
On Tuesday before the Sunday game, I feel like I'm going to struggle picking a Jags victory.
I can understand that.
And it's not that I don't believe they can't do it, but the question is, these things we're talking about that we've talked about, what these different positions, are those cracks in the armor, or are those just little spells that they're going to get over? And I don't know that answer right now.
None of us do. I don't know if they do.
Yeah.
No, you're right,
I really
Lauren.
think that's why they're working on this team bonding.
Yeah, you're right.
It's going to be
Good call.
not taking stuff down to the studs, but going back to the fundamentals and the alignment.
Which we saw them have to do in camp.
Correct.
And
That's
it
right.
did feel like it fixed some things, so maybe that's what they need. Because I heard Coach Ingram say, we keep saying every week, if they weren't doing, if these penalties weren't happening or if the drops weren't happening, this would be a really good offense. We can't still be saying that in week 12.
That's
Then you've got a problem. It's more than cracks. You're broken at that.
We're already in week 7 for crying out loud. All right, more to do on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's a sauce kind of football season with Chick-fil-A chicken strips. Each crispy, juicy bite only gets better when you choose your favorite sauces to dip into and create your own flavor combinations. Will it be sriracha and ranch, honey and buffalo, barbecue, and Chick-fil-A sauce with 21 different sauce pairings possible? It's easy to go on a flavor adventure. Order in a 4-count, 10-count, or in a catering tray. Get an order started today in the Chick-fil-A app and dip on in.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminex. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminex knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminex. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminex it. Visit Terminex.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here for Big Chief Tire. Right now, you can get 6-month financing through the CFNA credit card and $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. It's a smart way to handle big vehicle needs like new tires, brakes, or repairs without the upfront cost. With no interest for 6 months, there's never been a better time to schedule. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community, and now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's O-K-E farm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Jacksonville wanted to make a statement early in the contest, and their star wide receiver would do so in fantastic fashion. In the first quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find Brian Thomas Jr. for a 21-yard touchdown score. That would give the good guys a 6-0 lead with 1:14 left in the opening period. The Thomas score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! I'm Frank Frangi for Ricketts Electric. Any good lineup needs power. When we needed power at the Bregan Baseball Complex and all the fields we have at Fort Family Park, we trusted Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. Call my friend Zach today at 904-320-5960. You can also find them on Facebook and at rickettselectric.com. Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 904-320-5960.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks, Aaron Beasley as well hanging out with us, and time now for Tom's Takeaways.
Now.
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's Takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, my takeaway today is if you're a Jaguar player that's got a contract that might have been redone by the old regime, you might want to keep your head on a swivel because they could be coming for you next. Obviously, with the moves, freeing up some cap space, freeing up some cash, with converting Greg Newsom's money into a signing bonus. So they're going to be doing something. The question is, what position will they be going for? And that's going to be interesting to find out. But I know this, if I'm certain players on that team, I'm doing everything I can against the Rams to hold off the Wolves for another week. But somebody's coming, and that is my takeaway for today, brought to you by my friends at J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
The players who are safe are going to be the ones that are on their second contracts that are productive. So a Trevor Lawrence, a Josh Hines Allen.
Yes.
The guys on their rookie contracts, obviously all of them are safe. But then there's that other group of guys that this regime did not bring in as far as free agents and or draft picks.
Let's go through it.
Okay.
Like who could be not safe? We'll start with Walker Little.
Yeah.
Okay,
And he's on a second contract, obviously.
He is.
But not with this
They
regime,
didn't
and
give
he's
it
not
to him.
productive.
Yeah.
I'll throw out one. Our guest on Friday, Eric Armstead. Could he be a candidate? Now that
He's definitely a
contract
Trent
may be
Baalke
tough
guy.
to move. You know what I mean? I don't know
Yeah.
who's going to take him and that contract, if they even fact. Now, people could be out there like, Tom, he's leading the team in sacks.
He is. But 2.5 is not like it's a great number.
No, and he disappeared a little bit last Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, he disappears from time to time. He's still a
There's
really productive
stretches
player,
of
but
every
not,
game you don't see him.
not enough. Not enough. So I wonder, because
Yeah.
they didn't bring him in. They didn't
Right.
re-sign him, or they didn't sign him to the deal. So that could be interesting. Any other candidates, you think?
Yeah, my mind immediately obviously goes to Walker Little, but I think Eric Armstead's a good one. I was just browsing through to try and see any
think
of the
Andrew
other guys
Wingard,
that. Yeah,
who
I
we've
know,
talked
about. Yeah, they
safeties.
redid him
That
recently,
safety
right?
room in
Yeah.
general, I could see them wanting to possibly figure something out, and it's a little frustrating because you had multiple chances in the draft to bring in safeties that have been really productive very early on so far this season, like
And
an
we don't
Xavier
know-
Watts, for example.
We don't know what would have happened with Caleb Ransah.
Yeah, if he was healthy. And so that's an unfortunate thing for them to lose the guy that they wanted to play that position for an entire season. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of these guys that are starting at this point are their guys that they've brought in, or, you know, between free agents and draft picks. So
They're
I
playing
think
a
the
lot of young
secondary
guys.
you're looking at is the biggest one that has the most names of guys that aren't their guys.
Yeah, I mean, you've of course got Travis Etienne, but I think he's been too productive.
Yeah,
So
right.
at this point in the season, you're not
Yep.
going to move
He's
on from
outplayed
him.
any doubt.
Yeah, I think so.
Look, in Winger's defense, I mean, the last 2 weeks, the pressure hasn't been there. The first 4 were fantastic,
Yeah.
and that's why we led the league in takeaways. All that they weren't always sacking the QB, but hitting the QB, pressuring the QB. That always leads to balls getting tipped, balls not being caught, balls getting intercepted. Right?
I have a question, because who would we want to get rid of? I mean, we're 4-2. We lost a game, but are we trying to gain assets for next year's draft? Are we still trying to win? I mean, we're 4-2. I don't
I think it's trying to win and
Yeah.
shore up
From
the,
what Gladstone
the
has
issues.
said, he's
Yeah.
been very vocal, like, we can win now, so why
Yeah.
not?
I just, the only reason I think because the Newsom trade showed us that they're willing to they're going to upgrade if they feel like
Right.
they can upgrade.
But
So
I think Bees' question too, as far as you don't have a first round pick in next year's draft
Yeah.
at this point in
Yeah,
time. So
true.
are you already trying to maneuver for something like that in the here
maybe.
and now?
I play a lot of Madden. I make trades. You know what I mean? I make
Living
my
in the Madden
trades.
world.
I want to make sure I go and make the right trade.
I have to admit, I did look at a 2026 mock draft today. Not
you? Oh,
not
jeez.
because I wanted to
You
talk
said,
about it
"Oh,
on the
geez."
show.
Yeah.
Not because of that. I just was curious as to see what positions, how many quarterbacks are they thinking, and what other positions are going
Yeah.
high in their minds as of now.
I think just to answer. I think it would be more of a player swap like we saw with Tyson, and I don't think they would move either Eric or Walker for future. They got to replace those guys. I mean, who are they going to replace them with?
Well,
that's
so
on the
here's-
roster right now. It's
Yeah,
gotta
here's
be a
the person I
swap.
wanted to bring up, Wyatt Milam.
Yeah.
So the Jaguars drafted him with one of their top 3 picks in this past year's draft. We haven't been able to see him because of the knee injury that he suffered in training camp. Does he start? I'm not saying necessarily against the Rams, but does there come a time before the November 4th deadline, which is ticking, because the Jaguars only have 2 more games before then? But does he get a look at starting somewhere along that offensive line, and then you could potentially move on? Maybe not at left tackle. It could be at right guard potentially if it's not Patrick McCary that they love.
Left tackle is being like on the island corner.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm not
It
sure.
scares me to put a rookie
Yeah,
in
rookie
there,
out
right?
there.
I understand. Who's missed a lot of time, did
Yeah.
miss a lot of time, and has just now.
I do
recently
think
been
you have to
healthy.
try something at this point. You
Get a
have to
look.
see what you've got. And Milam played left tackle the majority of his college career.
did.
So
Yeah, he
do
did.
you see, and not saying you're throwing him into a game against the Rams, obviously,
What
but
school did he go
during.
West Virginia.
That's why I'm surprised you're not
We
cheering for him
know.
to be the left tackle.
You know, I want him to be 100%
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, yeah.
He don't go out
He's like,
there-
don't embarrass my
Yeah.
guy.
He was okay in camp, Wyatt.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
he
was
didn't
all right.
he didn't like. There were a couple plays where you're like, oh wow, you could see him because he's really aggressive. He's pretty athletic. He's a big kind of guy. He could play tackle. You think over time he could play tackle. I wonder if they would rotate. I think they got to get Cole Van Lanen in the lineup somewhere. I don't know if he's our left tackle, so maybe move Anton. But he was a really good right tackle for us. I think he can also play guard if you need him to. So maybe McCary could play right tackle, and you throw. I just think you might. Look, remember all through camp, they were all trying all these
playing
positions for
everywhere, yeah.
what? For this. Like these moments, like, all right, maybe we do have to mess with the line a little bit and see. I don't want to jump the gun, but man, if you go back and watch the tape, you a couple times you're lucky Walker didn't get hurt, just get knocked over. You know what I mean? And your quarterback
Some
not
people
getting
would say
hurt.
unlucky.
And
but
by the way, Anton got beat plenty too. It wasn't just Walker. And
Oh,
Ezra got
they
beat.
all gave up pressures.
Ezra got beat a lot too.
Jonah gave up
so-
pressures. Jonah on him as well. Yeah, I don't think it was obviously a good game by any of them.
No, it wasn't.
But you are at this point in time reflecting on a loss where your quarterback was harassed pretty much the entire game. And
Totally.
so yeah, to Taylor's point, if you don't fix something,
Yep.
you could potentially have that exact
Again.
thing.
No,
same,
you're right.
Same thing happen again against another team that's got
Yeah.
a talented pass rush.
Like the Rams.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
We're talking about like on Sunday.
Hurst and Fisk, and we say those names, but their defensive line in general.
Now the Jaguars did do a good job against the Texans pass rush.
They
early
did.
on
Yeah.
in the season.
There were 0 hits on Trev
Yep,
then.
week 3, and so can you channel that back? I'm sure that's what they're also trying to evaluate. But yeah, all right. What's on tap for Duval Turner this week?
Well,
did we consider that a full win? By the way,
Yeah, did you
I
get
did.
the other
They
half?
got the
I'll take it.
All right.
Put it in my pocket.
the game
It's a
was
full
26
W,
to
not a
7,
V.
and then weather happened, and then
Right.
but it wasn't called a full victory for y'all.
I did.
I say it's a win.
We're stamping.
It was gonna be.
We're not going to reschedule it or anything.
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll
so
It was
yeah.
going to be 50-7. So.
Oh, I was going to do
gonna
to
run
them
it up.
what others did to us.
In the words of ET, that's a dub. That's a dub.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this, just trying to add on to that. Because here's the thing. We play in the Sunshine State Conference or League.
Yeah.
So we're not in the FHSCIA.
Okay,
FHSA.
gotcha.
CIA.
You know what I mean? We're just PIAA where I'm from. All that other stuff. I don't know.
You're independent,
So
basically.
we could make the playoffs.
Okay.
Yes, we get the participation trophy for
Oh
playoffs.
my gosh.
But it was funny because last year we won our first playoff game and we barely lost the second one. So with me calling these plays, who
You
knows?
just got to
That's
get there.
right,
Who knows
please.
what happens?
That's right. That's right. Beautiful.
From head coach to offensive coordinator, he does it all.
That's right.
All right, Bees, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
All right,
Yeah,
see you
man.
again.
We appreciate
have a
it.
good
More to do on the other side, including Taylor's Tangent. It's 10 to next on 2.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels from the Greenlaw Group Studios. 1010XL is your home for play-by-play of Bishop Kenny football.
After 2 road wins, the Crusaders defend their home turf against the Buccaneers. Bishop Kenny First Coast, Friday at 7 on 1010XL.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by
Morgan & Morgan.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 14th, 1991, Mike Gardner becomes the first NHL player to score his 500th goal, 500th assist, and point number 1,000, all in the same season.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in at a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. So start now by calling 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Boye Aluakun was outstanding in the Sunshine State. The Jacksonville linebacker tallied 9 tackles against Seattle, with 6 being solo. And he'd also have a quarterback hit, as well as a pass defended. The captain was the absolute truth, and he's your Superior Fence and Rails defensive player of the game.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
This glorious Tuesday afternoon, the weather is just fantastic, and I looked at the future as far as the next week or so. I only see a chance of rain one day. And I know. And the highs are either in the upper 70s or low 80s. Like literal perfection. If you can make it through summer and the heat and humidity that is Jacksonville, FLA, you make it to the fall and spring, and literally there's no better place to live.
Yeah. It really is like March, April, even beginning of May. And then once you hit around this time through like November and the majority of December, we have the best weather.
Yeah, I think October through December is the best. Yeah, I was out on the beach today, man. It was beautiful. Sun was hot and breeze was cool, and had a nice low tide. The waves were kicking. It's so awesome out there, you know. Little God's creation, that energy. I love it, absolutely. And then I'm limping into the station. So my feet always hurt after I work out like that, but I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it.
Now, when you run on the beach, shoes or no shoes?
Shoes, yeah. No, I wear a little lift on my right.
That's right, because my
pelvis is a little bit off. But I do this run, I walk, run, and then I backward skip in intervals.
Okay.
And backward skip is fun because you can cover a lot of ground, and it just jacks up your quads really good. So it's just a little change from
That's
going
what Taylor
forward.
does too.
Yeah. You skip like a little kid, but you go backwards. It's fun, you know, so it's all good.
I love it. All right, time now for Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So we had some interesting stuff happen in the AFC South with the firing of Brian Callahan. I was reading an article, and it's very interesting, kind of based on this, how maybe the Titans were fooled by Callahan and his past of the quarterbacks that he was around, but really wasn't directly affecting in the games. And so they mentioned, obviously, because he had worked with previously Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, and Joe Burrow. But the problem was during this time, he wasn't the direct play caller for those guys. He was just, whether he was an offensive coordinator, but not calling plays, or was just in that quarterback room.
I hang out with a hot girl. Doesn't that make me a hot girl? Like, right? Isn't that how that works?
I don't know. So they go on and they're talking about attributing the quarterback success to non-play calling coaches has been kind of a trap in the NFL for a lot of teams. And they go through to list several examples. So it starts with 2022, the Broncos hiring Nathaniel Hackett after Aaron Rodgers' success in Green Bay. He was fired after a 4-11 start. The 2021, the Texans hired David Culley, who worked with Allen and Lamar Jackson, fired after 4-13 season. 2018, the Bears hired Matt Nagy after working with Patrick Mahomes in his breakout rookie year, fired after 4 seasons. I don't know how that even lasted that long, but he was 34-31.
Nagy has the highest odds to be the next Titans head coach.
Do it. Let's go. Hire him to Tennessee. Hire him.
I knew you'd love that.
And then 2016, the Dolphins hired Adam Gase because he worked with Peyton Manning Manning in Denver. He was fired after 3 seasons, had a under 500 record. 2013, the Bills hired Doug Marrone, who worked with Drew Brees in New Orleans. He was fired after 2 seasons with a 15-17 record. And so they do give a couple examples of how it's not always a mess, and especially for some reason the Eagles keep figuring it out. They made Super Bowls after hiring 3 former non-play callers as head coaches: Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, and Nick Sirianni. The Vikings hired Kevin O'Connell, who wasn't a play caller previous to that either, and he won a Super Bowl as Stafford's offensive coordinator, but he wasn't the primary play caller during that time. So it's just interesting how there's a couple examples of, hey, this works. Seems like the Eagles figured out a way to make it happen somehow, even though maybe it's not a long period of time, because we know how that Doug Peterson tenure ended up going there.
By the way, they know that Doug Peterson didn't call plays in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
What?
By the way.
Oh, maybe people down in Jacksonville should have figured that out before they hired the play calling head coach. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no. So it was just very interesting to read this, because there's a lot of examples of this isn't working, and having a guy, how important it is bringing a guy, if you're hiring an offensive head coach, one that does have that offensive play calling experience is very important. And I think you're seeing that around the league right now, that teams are starting to figure it out, because, the Bears and Jags, for example, are like, let me go get these guys that have experience actually calling plays in the NFL, and hope that you have a bigger chance or a better chance for that working than someone that's just around a good quarterback and kind of maybe learned a little bit, but you want the guy that's done it.
That's interesting. I mean, there's got to be something to it. But then you look at guys like Mike McDonald, the D coordinator. He brings in Clint Kubiak, right? That was the OC for the Seahawks. It seems like they got the right players, the right system. You gotta figure that out. So the play call is obviously a big part of it. But man, it's like you go from just calling plays to running the operation. That it's just a really hard job that not a lot of guys, they succeed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even great coaches that just, you look like guys that are respected as coordinators, like Gus Bradley's considered a really good defense coordinator. Jack Del Rio, considered a really good defensive coordinator at one time. You know what I mean? But just never got to where they were that good of a head coach. They weren't terrible, but it just didn't work out, So it's just amazing how that is. And I know today we all want that offensive play caller. But I tell you what, Liam's not only the offensive play caller, but he's got the structure of a disciplined team. He wants a disciplined team, and he's going to have it.
They're not exactly acquiescing.
No, they're not.
With
No,
the
they're
65 flags. But by the way, I did see this stat. All 6 teams that have drafted quarterbacks in the first round in 2024 are above 500 as of right now for this season.
Okay.
The Bears 3-2, the Broncos 4-2, the Commanders 3-3, the Falcons 3-2. I should say 500 or better. Did I say that? Falcons 3-2, Patriots 4-2, Vikings 3-2. So it also does have to do with the quarterback, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's what I was about to say. I wonder if somebody's going to look at this and say, Brian Callahan had Will Levis to start, and that was a hot mess disaster. Is that Brian Callahan's fault? And then this year you don't give him much time with Cam Ward. How much are you actually developing a quarterback right now behind the offensive line that they have?
Yeah, that old
is that so I'm wondering if some team's going to say, okay, well, there was success and he learned things from some really good quarterbacks that he worked with. He just unfortunately had Will Levis and then not a lot of time with Cam Ward.
Yeah, I think sometimes too the head coach, and so I won't be surprised if maybe Mike McDaniel gets fired with the Dolphins based off of how things are going there. When it starts to feel like everything's mushrooming and it's just a complete and total just dumpster fire, that's when
that
a head
implosion
coach,
happens.
Yeah,
It's bad.
head coach gets fired. But also, to me, if you're going to fire the head coach, fire the GM, because I think they go hand in hand, and you don't want a situation where the GM is still there and if they're not doing a great job, but then you hire a new head coach and they are at odds, which is what was about to happen here because Shad Khan originally retained Trent Baalke.
Right. It's a mess in Miami. I mean, you got the quarterback going public with his comments about guys not showing up, doing this and doing that. That's not good. I don't know if I'd want to be two in the locker room. I hope he knows self-defense. I think he does. He took some jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah. So he learned how to fall, so
And
maybe
then he's
that'll
eating
help him.
carbs to make sure his brain doesn't get
There's nothing worse when a quarterback sits there high on his perch, blaming everybody else but himself when he doesn't do the job.
There were signs of this in camp. I remember the Dolphins complaining about how other teams were too physical in their practices and they were, and so I just felt like bad things were coming for the
When
Miami
Jalen
Dolphins.
Ramsey wants to leave, that's when you know things
Things are about to go
begun
down.
to implode, exactly. All right, we've got lunch to give away.
We do. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 3.
Call number 3, 904-641-1010. More on the other side. It's 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels.
Protected by
Green Law Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
Post-game Monday is like digesting a huge day of football. Let's do this. Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day.
It's not great. It's fantastic.
Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Post-game Monday. So delicious. On 1010XL.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through October 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design has over 1,700 5-star Google reviews, and I know why. We are already working on upgrading our laundry room since our closet design and install was seamless. Goodbye clutter, hello organization. They can do the same for you as they create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation, but only until October 31st. 18-month financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Sewer backups stink, literally. Tree roots, old pipes, or major clogs can be the cause. Superior Plumbing and Pipeline inspects and clears sewer lines fast. If your sewer's backed up, make the Superior choice and learn more at superiorplumbingjax.com.
You don't think this would be a good moment to text somebody?
There's never a bad moment to share your opinion on the 1010XL text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Share your opinion
As soon as possible.
at 641-1010.
Here's hoping for a Raise the Roof football season. And here's knowing Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
Hey, life can get a little hectic at times, knowing it's time to get hurt, lost wages, injuries that not only hurt, but ones that hinder our success. If you're in this position due to the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. What's up, Jayville? This is Tom McManus. Injuries suck, and if you get injured, check out Morgan & Morgan. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the country. 100 offices, over 1,000 lawyers, with enough firepower to handle any and all personal injury cases that you may be dealing with. And they make filing a claim easy. They make it easy, and they don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit Pound Law from your cell. Pound Law, that's all.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Jacksonville Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coatings, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS. Thank you, IHRS. Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The defending national champion Florida Gators come in at number 3 in the preseason AP Top 25 poll, only getting edged by number 1 Purdue and number 2 Houston. The Gators season is right around the corner as they're set to take on the 13th ranked Arizona Wildcats at the Hall of Fame Game Series in Las Vegas on Monday, November 3rd at 7 p.m. It's 82 degrees at 3:05. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Come over here, sit next to me. We can see where things go naturally.
Taylor Bell, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Tuesday afternoon, flying through the week. I will say last week went by so much faster. Having the game on Monday night and then Victory Tuesday, and then you blink and the week was over and it was almost time to welcome the Seahawks in. This week I'm like, oh, the loss.
Tuesday.
Tom, you tweeted or posted how you didn't want to come off cloud 9, basically. That's, I think that's how all of Jacksonville and Jaguars fans throughout the world felt, like riding this high, only one loss, and then wah, wah, wah.
You know what's crazy, though? And during that game, and I think because of the way that Kansas City went and the end of that and what Trevor was able to do late and driving down and scoring the way he did, even with errors happening, being able to win that game, there were several moments, and this is, I think, the shift of when we talk about that shift of culture and the shift of trusting your coaching staff, and I think that's the two big things for me right now. But how in that game, normally I would have been like, this is done. Like, Seahawks are doing they're not even playing that great. They're 1 for 12 on third downs, but they're still winning and whatever. My mindset was more so like, Trevor can figure this out. You're within a score. The Jaguars can actually win this game. There's plenty of time. And so already, like, my mind is changing into that type of thought, when last year I would have been like, oh, there's no way they're coming back and winning this game. And so I do think that's some positives, because we keep talking about it, but you want to see improvements when it comes to these pre-snap penalties in general, drops, some of these missed tackles we've seen lately, some of those things, pressure. You want to see more pressures, being created, the offensive line. You hope it was a fluke this last week. But I still think that you've been able to win, and we've seen Trevor late in games be able to make big plays to be able to win the games or hold leads. And I do think that's something that my mind has started to turn a little bit of. I'm not looking at these games like, oh, here we go. This is the Jags being Jags. I'm like, the Jags can win this game. They're within a score.
He's still giving them a chance to win.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And look, that play to Patrick, I know we talked briefly yesterday, like that was a really good heads-up play by him, man. He had to
Keeping
escape.
his eyes downfield.
Yeah, he put the ball in the right spot. You know, Tim, made a nice little adjustment to the ball, and the rest is history. So he was right there, and he does make those kind of plays. And then if he could just shore up the other ones, we're really talking, And I think he's got it in him. I know he wants it. You know what I mean? I know he wants to really be that guy, and sometimes he is. And that's, I think, what's really, I don't know if frustrating is the right word, but there's times where you're like, oh man, Trev, like just hit him, like you had him, you missed him, or whatever the case may be, or a drop. I yelled at Brian Thomas, over the TV. I didn't even give him the 3 words. I just 3 names. I just went Brian.
I know.
Well, Brian.
We're on the first name basis.
Come on, make that catch. But they again, you can, and we are, and I know I am. Glass is half full. They're 4-2, and they're nowhere near playing. They're even good football, like for a consistent 60-minute game for both sides or all 3 phases. They haven't played anywhere from, like, I don't even want to say their best. I'm just saying, like, really good, solid football across the board. They haven't even done that yet, and they're still at 4-2. So that's a good thing.
I don't know if any team has, honestly, in the NFL when you look across.
There's definitely a lot of parity. But, I mean, last night, for instance, watching the Falcons be able to beat the Bills. And it felt like the Falcons played a good 4-quarter game. It didn't feel like they let up at any point in time. And that's what I think you're talking about, too, Tom, is the Falcons only scored 24 points. But they controlled the game. And certainly played well in all 3 phases. And that's what I'm sure Liam Cohen is hammering home. Taylor, it's funny that you mentioned that because as I sit at the game, I'm looking at my laptop and just scrolling through what people are saying, people we work with, like our workers and people that are just Jags fans in general. And there was still that faction of the fan base, the media, they were like, well, it's over, when there was definitely still a chance.
Yeah.
And yes, you saw fans leaving the stadium. I understand why they're doing that. They're trying to get ahead of traffic and things like that. Like, I'm not saying that they have given up on their team. They just realize this is going to be a long shot to win, and I want to get to my car before I have to head home. But the people that were watching at home and totally had given up on the team, just like I said, based off of what I could tell by what they were posting, it's like, guys, did you not watch like on Monday night, right? Like Liam Cohen, I do think, has this team believing in themselves. And I think though that the Jags offense was just never in rhythm this game. Like there were a couple plays that the Jags made on offense, and I felt like that was the least amount. Like I said, I critiqued the play calling some. That was the least I felt like in rhythm the Jags offense has been. And obviously only scoring 12 points shows that. But there's other times you may not put as many points up on the board, but you're still moving the football. Like you mentioned this yesterday, like how many times did the Jags make it in the red zone? Right? Like that goes to show you that the offense is not clicking. At least there were too many issues going on. And look, penalties aside, I think a lot of this is to blame on the offensive line, and we'll see.
Yeah, and the play caller, because he's got to figure out a way to get that line a little bit of relief.
I thought he'd do that at halftime.
Yeah, I did too. And again, we were talking with Bees, and we've been talking, for the past couple of weeks about these bread and butter pass plays that they just never gave to Trev, like they had in weeks past. I think you got to incorporate that into the game. When things aren't going your way, like, hey, let's settle him down and give him a pass that he's really good at. And it's that 10-yard out. And let's get our guys, the best guy out there, it's Brian Thomas. He runs it the best. They have really good chemistry there. Maybe Diami from the slot. We'll figure that out. But get those kind of throws going so he can get back into a rhythm and really getting some better production.
And that's why I did a podcast with Coach DiFilippo a while ago, and he used the word easy button, and he said the best offensive coordinators are the ones that throw that easy button when they know their quarterback, whether it's not getting time, if they're getting if they're pressured a ton, if things, you just have off games sometimes, if they're missing receivers, whatever. That's what Kyle Shanahan does. That's why whether it's Brock Purdy or Mac Jones playing, you feel like their offense still functions pretty well. That's what Kevin O'Connell does. That's why quarterback after quarterback, he's able to hit those easy buttons when he feels like his quarterback's starting to panic. And it really didn't feel like that. It did feel like there was never fully that everybody in sync moment on the offense at all this last game. And it would have been nice to have that. Like here, this is what Trevor's most comfortable with. And we've talked about it before, honestly. Trevor getting the ball out quick, those no huddle. Like Trevor's good in those moments. Speed it up a little. If the game's going fast, then lean into that a little bit.
Yeah, the button, though, can't be the bubble screen.
Yeah.
And we saw that too much last year. I think they thought that was button. Well, he can complete it great,
Bubble.
but they're not. Nothing's happening. You know what I mean? I really don't like that play. I know on occasion you have to run it. On occasion it works. I'm not saying get rid of it, but I think you got to get your QB into those kind of throws because he does make. The thing about the really good throws that he does make, I would throw more, like call more of those plays. You know what I mean? And then work on the others still. Like, you know, you're not giving up on the deep throws and that kind of thing. And they'll
And
eventually
that's on the quarterback,
click.
too, to tell the coach, like to tell Liam, the play caller. Like,
This isn't working right now.
Yeah, like I want to shift more towards this. This is what I think is going to work. And I think it's a symbiotic relationship that's going to have both of them be the most successful. But maybe the easy button at times is Trevor using his legs. I think in this game, at least from my vantage point, he was getting beat to hell, and I don't think he wanted to get beat to hell more by running the football.
You know, I was thinking about a running play he made on fourth down where it's a keeper, and he went down early, I thought. Like, he didn't try to, like, cut outside. And there was a block right there. It's just kind of, like, he didn't run as defiantly as he did against KC.
City,
you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Like, even on that play, I'm like, oh, man, cut outside. You might, like, get another 10, 15. But he just, you know, went down to the ground and, you know, get
Maybe
the
he's
first
like, I'm already
down.
getting hit.
That's at least, again, that's what I thought from watching it. As far as the week before, not even the week before, it was a short week, but that Monday night, it felt like his instincts were like, I've got this. And Sunday, it felt like, I don't got this.
More
My offensive
reserved.
line doesn't
Like,
have this. I just got to get out of this game healthy and move on to the next. All right, Lauren's Lane on the other side. We'll talk some college football. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Get more Gators.
And more Prosser and Hickett, unfiltered.
Football insight, analysis, and critique from your breakfast buddies on the Swamp Sessions podcast
From Voodoo Brewing Company.
right after every game.
Streamed live on the 1010XL social channel.
Driven by Atlantic Infinity.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday, backed by Morgan & Morgan.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Lauren Brooks here. I saw my friends at Hello Smooth in MedSpa in St. John's again last week, and I just love going in there and hanging out with them. They are so talented and so smart when it comes to laser hair removal and skincare treatments. Every single person in there understands that it has to be customized for your laser hair and your skincare and beauty. With over 10 years in the community, 400 5-star reviews, and the latest technology, their team makes smooth, stubble-free skin so easy. Packages include 9 sessions, and you will see results fast. Right now, enjoy 50% off laser hair removal packages. Be sure to let them know Lauren from 1010XL sent you. Visit hellosmooth.com or stop by for your free consultation. Your skin will thank you.
After our son's shoulder issues were worsening, we took him to see Dr. Snyder at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, who recommended PRP treatment. We trusted Dr. Snyder's evaluation and look forward to seeing him pitch again. For the right care, the best care, we highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey guys, Taylor Doll here of Helmets and Heels. It's a sauce kind of football season with Chick-fil-A chicken strips. Each crispy, juicy bite only gets better when you choose your favorite sauces to dip into and create your own flavor combinations. Will it be sriracha and ranch, honey and buffalo, barbecue, and Chick-fil-A sauce with 21 different sauce pairings possible? It's easy to go on a flavor adventure. Order in a 4-count, 10-count, or in a catering tray. Get an order started today in the Chick-fil-A app and dip on in.
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La playa awaits.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
After the lights go down on Friday night, 1010XL flips the switch.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, Friday Night Lights.
With Hacker and Dylan Denmark. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Jacksonville is football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296. Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429. Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season is finally here, and with that, hopefully comes cooler weather. And if you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space and just haven't pulled the trigger, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures right now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Before I get to college football in Lawrence Lane, congratulations to my friend Nick Morrow, UNF Athletic Director. He was promoted to Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, and he got a contract extension yesterday. That's right, RJ. Round of applause. That keeps him at UNF until at least 2030, 2031.
Nice.
I can tell you, since I used to work for Nick before he was the athletic director, he is absolutely fantastic. He is a great family man. He's great to his employees. And also, he's great at fundraising, which is another key component of being an athletic director.
No
certainly, UNF has done a terrific job, and they've been upgrading so many facilities. You know, we used to joke about the Jags. We'd see renderings, and nothing would ever actually come to fruition. Now it finally is. Well, with UNF, when Nick has a rendering, once he gets the financing, they are absolutely full go, and so they've done a great job. Of course, I love our friends at JU and everyone that works there as well. This is not just towards UNF. Alex knows that I love him too. But yeah, we're so, I feel like, blessed to have both UNF, JU, Edward Waters in town too, FSCJ. Like, we have some great different schools, but also athletic departments as well.
Definitely. And that's what I started. I went to FSCJ first, so I did my first 2 years there, then transferred to USF. And honestly, I tell people all the time, like, if you are questioning at all, like you don't know where you want to go or what you want to do, FSCJ is like one of the best routes to go because, number one, every professor I loved there, I had there, I loved. And then it's not as culture shock right away if you are wanting to ease into things rather than going to a 300-person classroom somewhere on a different campus and away from home. So yeah, we're lucky here to have the colleges and the athletics that we have.
Plus, when you go to the FSCJ, you're automatically guaranteed admission to the college if you get your AA there, right?
Any community college in Florida, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And you want to say FCCJ, don't you?
It used to. I know it's changed.
I'm confused. How many? Yeah, what is it now?
FSCJ.
And what did I say?
FCCJ.
You said it right. I just could tell you were hesitating because you were like, wait, what is it now?
Which one is it again?
Yeah, it used to be FCCJ, now it's FSCJ.
They have a good baseball program,
They do.
I think, don't
Absolutely,
they?
yeah.
That's
Brian
a
did the
great
same
starter.
thing. He started at FSCJ and then transferred to
I can see
UNF.
that.
Yeah.
And I know other people did too because it's also more cost effective. You don't have to live on your own necessarily, and the tuition's less expensive. And
Plus, let's be honest, the first 2-year college. I mean, really? I almost got kicked out like twice. And then I finally grew up.
I was going to say, I'm not even going to tell you what my
How do you get kicked out of Boston College? Don't ask. Just don't ask.
All right, speaking of college football, time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane, driven by Mazda at the Avenues. This is luxury. This is Mazda at the Avenues.
All right, y'all know I love me some college football. I make sure I have plenty of time during my weekend to watch. This past weekend was a little trickier because we were at our friend's wedding. Congratulations to the Smiths. It was a lovely wedding. We did, of course, have phones with football on, and then we went out after and football was on, so I was able to watch. But here's my complaint about college football, and this has nothing to do with trimming the fat and getting rid of schools for the here and now.
Yep.
The top 3 ranked teams in the AP top 25, Ohio State, Miami, and Indiana, as we sit here right now. Do you know how many ranked teams are on a combined schedule for all 3 of them? How many ranked teams on their combined schedules?
For those 3?
For those 3 for the rest of the season.
For the rest of the season? How many games are left?
6.
6?
I'm going to say 5.
Okay.
I'm going low just because I feel like
Penn State's gone, so Ohio State usually plays them, right? I'd say, I don't know, I'll go 4. Price is right, you.
Well, the answer is 0.
Well, Tommy.
0.
Wow.
The top 3 teams in the AP top 25 do not face another ranked team. Now, I understand there could be the counter argument of, well, because I'm going to present you that the 4th ranked team, Texas A&M, faces 3 ranked teams for the remainder of their schedule. So it's already 3 for just one team. The counter argument, of course, is, well, the SEC has 7 teams in the top 25. The Big Ten does not have as many teams. The ACC does not have as many teams in the top 25. That's not the fault of Ohio State and Indiana and Miami necessarily. However, it just goes to show you that we need more cross-reference games. Like, we need more cross-conference games.
Definitely do.
Even in the back half of the season. And so I feel like if it was up to me, I would be like, all right, we're going to change your schedules. We're now going to take the top 40 teams or so, and then y'all are going to face each other for the rest of the season instead of having these teams, again, the top 3 not face another ranked team for the rest of the year. Like, come on, man.
Again, it's that scheduling. Like, when do you play these harder games? You know what I mean? Because, Illinois was 9 at the time. Clearly, they weren't.
Right.
Oregon, I'm looking at Indiana's schedule.
Sure.
They beat Oregon.
They did.
The Big Ten's weird. Like,
beat a ranked team, but
Michigan State's not ranked. Penn State's not ranked. Wisconsin. Normally, those 3 schools are in
Penn
the top
State
25.
obviously fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah. And that's what I think a lot of people do say is, okay, well, they scheduled these teams and they were ranked when you are making these schedules or preseason, whatever. But it is kind of wild when you think about it. And then you have a team like, and I know Florida deals with this too, but South Carolina, who just played LSU, has Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M coming up on their schedule.
Right. And see, that's the thing.
Right.
And again, I know there's SEC bias when it comes to these things, that some teams in the SEC shouldn't be ranked as high as they are. I get that. And really, maybe the top 25 is too small of a sample for college football. We should probably extend to like the top 50. So that way I would have a better idea of, are there teams that are ranked in the top 50?
Yeah, if you're like 29,
schedules?
30, is that really a bad,
Absolutely. Yeah. But for the here and now, that's disappointing for college football fans.
Yeah.
Like, we want to see the best play the best. And I know we'll get that in the college football playoff. But if these teams breeze through their schedules, they're going to have a bye the very first week. And then we'll finally get to see them play top competition.
I guess to me, it's like the Big Ten is just not good this year. Or
the bottom half.
You know what I mean? It just seems like they normally have, like, you look at those schedules, like Indiana, like maybe in the beginning, like Penn State was number 2. You're like, oh wow, we got to play Penn State number 2, but then they're not. Michigan State normally is somewhere in the top 20.
Used
but
to be.
they're,
Haven't been good in a long time.
You know? Oh, really? They haven't been, not top 25? Michigan's nowhere to be found. It's not on Indiana's schedule, but
Yeah,
they're nowhere to
Michigan
be
obviously
found.
was good several years ago, or just a few years ago,
Yeah.
winning the national championship. And look, it is all very
Just
cyclical and things like that. But for the college football fan, you want to see
Good games.
a lot of top 25
You want to
matchups.
be able to truly evaluate the good and bad teams, and it's hard to do that if your top 3-4 teams aren't playing teams that you feel are actually good competitors.
Yeah.
It's exactly
Listen,
what I'm saying. Thank you for agreeing with me.
And I know we weren't going to go there, and I won't say trim the fat, but I just did. But it's coming to, I mean, it's funny because I'm looking at, Bill O'Brien's struggling at Boston College.
Right.
So I've been looking at, just different what people are saying, and they're concerned that we're going to be left out when there's a mega conference that we're going to be gone. Like Boston College will not be in it unless we do everything that all these other schools are doing. So back to your point, take the top 40, play your 2 whatever, and the next 9 or 10, they're against other top 40 teams. That's it. In your conference, out of your and then we can really have a real everybody's on the same
But that's never going
level.
to happen, unfortunately.
I think it will happen.
Well,
I do
the
think it will
mega
happen.
conference potentially, yes, could happen. What I mean is in the existing structure,
Right.
they're not going to obviously move away from playing 9
Agreed.
conference games. They've already decided that. They've already got their TV network contracts.
Right.
The problem is we don't have one network or multiple networks that are owned by the same company that can mandate stuff like that. That is better for the college football fan and not as worried about the greed.
Somebody's got to be working on. There's going to be a commission down the road, and there's got to be a commissioner over all of the conferences. And I know what you said yesterday, and I get it, but
why would the
right?
SEC
But
and Big
if
Ten do
there's if there's others out there, they're like, well, you got to jump on board. I don't know.
and I
I
don't
think
know
it's
that-
going to come to something like that at some point if we truly want a true national champion. And we're trying, right? I mean, you increase the playoffs, a lot more guys in.
Do y'all love that, or would you rather the 4-team? Are you
Oh,
pro
I like
4-team
that.
or the 12?
Oh, give me 12.
You're 12.
I'm
would
saying
like
give me
8.
16.
Oh, really? I think that. I don't know. I mean,
To me, I think that, this is a very early sample, obviously, because we've only seen the college football playoff expansion for this little bit of time now with the 12, and then eventually they're saying the 16. But to me, I think you're already seeing some playing field starting to level out a little bit, and that's what I want to see. I don't want to see the same 4 teams every single year in the college football playoff, and that's what I feel like we had when it was that. Every now and then another one would get in there. But right now, I like seeing a team like Indiana because now I like that Kurt Cignetti can say, we can make the college football playoff. You can go sit on the bench at Alabama, or you can come and start here, and we have just as good of a chance to make it to the college football playoff. And I think with 12 or 16 teams, that is going to even more and more, because that gives more schools the opportunity to showcase their players and be able to, you get there and who knows what can happen, that type of mentality.
so 16 teams out of what, 64?
Is that your
I don't know.
final-
No. I'm just saying today, and they're like 64. I don't
Oh,
know.
no, there's way more than that.
120. Okay,
like
so, yeah, right.
134 maybe?
134. So
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I would say
because the
I
NFL is 7 out of 16, right? 7 make out of 16 each side.
Mhm,
That's
70
almost half.
seeds from each conference.
Yeah. Okay, I get this 16 maybe.
I prefer
like 8.
the 4-team, I think, because, and I understand your point, certainly the parity is increasing when you do that. I like the 4 teams because to me the regular season now is a little bit more watered down. You can lose more games and still get in as one of the 10 to 12 teams that make the playoff. And so those those regular season games don't have necessarily the same weight that they once did. And that's what I've always loved about college football is it's do or
You
die.
lose,
You
you're
can
out.
pretty much only lose 1 game this season, and now you can lose 2 games and still make the college football playoff. All right, we got more football to discuss on the other side. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. From the huddle to the perfect spiral.
We invite you into the lab so that you can truly learn the quarterback position.
The quarterback whisperer. He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Wrapped up by George Moore Chevrolet and Tyson Sound and Security on 1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here. You know, I always talk about the guidance, the great coaching I get with Awaken 180 weight loss. My coach Kate has given me tremendous guidance, has talked me through the process.
As a result, I lost over 100 pounds. I'm still on the maintenance program. It's absolutely fantastic. Well, for the month of October, if you call Awaken 180 Weight Loss, you will get a free consultation. A free consultation during the month of October with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If you need to start your weight loss journey like I had to do something. My life was not pleasant at 317 pounds. Awaken 180 gave me my life back. If it's time for you to get involved with your weight loss, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. And in the month of October, get a free consultation with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast, and you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they will show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at our house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule your free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Hey, fellow Floridians, it's Ben.
And Brianna Smith. We are foodies who love sharing recipes online.
And trying new cooking techniques on our new natural gas stove.
He loves his precise temperature control on the heat.
Yeah, I also love saving money and using less energy.
Oh, watch that flame.
So, we'll love to be in control.
Now, earn up to a $300 cashback rebate for installing a new energy-efficient natural gas range or stovetop. To learn more, go to peoplesgas.com/rebates.
Helmets at Heels Tuesday is
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. When deciding what lawyer to trust with your car accident or injury case, the most reliable way is reviews and results. You want to be treated well, and you want a great result. Woolsey Morecambe's reviews speak for themselves, and I challenge any firm to compare results. We offer the resources of a large law firm and the customer service of a boutique practice. If you want to be treated right and want great results, call Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY and take the fear out of the fight. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey folks, this is Denny Thompson, and when it comes to protecting my home, I turn to Tyson, the leaders in state-of-the-art home security right here in Jacksonville. Their AI cameras and smart doorbells are top-notch, keeping an eye on what matters most. Whether you're moving in or upgrading, Tyson offers flexible packages, rent or own, with specials on the first 3 years. Ramp up now for the holidays, the perfect gift for you or someone you love. Call Tyson today at 590-7979 for details.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through October 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Any good lineup needs power. When we needed power at the Bregan Baseball Complex and all the fields we have at Fort Family Park, we trusted Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. Call my friend Zach today at 904-320-5960. You can also find them on Facebook and at rickettselectric.com. Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 904-320-5960.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
So Adam Schefter tweeted, and 6 weeks in, the playoff picture after 6 weeks. Right now, the divisional round, the AFC and NFC champions, or the one seeds, would be the Colts for the AFC and the Bucks for the NFC. Behind that, the wild card round would be the Broncos versus the Steelers. That's the 7 seed versus the 2 seed. The Rams versus Green Bay. 7 versus 2, go Rams. The Jags would be playing the Chargers again in the postseason if the season ended right now.
It would be in Los Angeles this time around, though.
Then Detroit and San Francisco on the other side, and then Bills and New England. So that one I feel like could be very interesting up there. And then we got the bird game with the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles for that 5 and 4 seed on the other side. So it'll be interesting to see what this looks like at the end of the year, because right now there's definitely some interesting matchups in there.
Yeah,
I literally saw the same thing. I grabbed that or copied that picture and pasted it because I was like, we made the graphic. Mama, we made it. We made the graphic.
It's not the hunt. It's right. You're there.
We're already in the postseason. Oh, wait. There's still way too many games to actually talk about that. But I will say, when you mentioned the Broncos, last night bought my tickets for Jags Broncos in Denver.
Fun.
Very excited.
Cool.
Love it.
Yeah, my cousin lives out there. She's never been to a Broncos game. She's not a Broncos fan. She's a Jags fan.
Yeah.
But she's also just never even been to any game at Mile High. And so very excited about that.
That'll be really fun.
Yeah,
looking
Denver's a
forward
cool
to that.
town.
Yeah.
We got to go out one
I've been
night.
before. It's super
We went out there
fun.
2 nights before.
Yeah.
Before the playoff game.
Right.
Yeah, so we had a night out. It was fun.
It's a
never
beautiful
been.
place.
Yeah,
It's
clean.
Rocky Mountains in the
Yeah,
backdrop. But it is
Is that where
definitely an
Red Rock
altitude.
is?
Red
Denver?
Rock, yes,
Okay.
is in Denver.
Have you been there?
I have not.
Okay.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
My parents went when they went to see my cousin in Denver.
Yeah.
And she's been there, of course, to many a concert. And
bet.
everyone I know that has ever been says you have to go.
It's amazing,
right.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. When I went out there, I did see a country act at a different type of country bar, but not Red Rocks. It's just one of those places that I do feel like you have to like kind of check off. But I would say there's multiple cities in Colorado that people would say the same thing about. Boulder.
Yeah,
I've heard great
Boulder
things
for
about
sure.
Colorado Springs. I've heard really
yep.
good things
Yeah.
about.
Yep.
When we went snowboarding.
All the skiing.
Yeah,
wherever
exactly.
you go
All the
for
snowboarding, skiing.
Yep.
Yeah, whether it's Aspen.
Do you
or
ski, Tommy?
Breckenridge.
I used to snow ski
Yeah.
when I was younger. We would go up to Wisconsin.
Okay.
And they weren't real big mountains,
Yeah.
but big
Still
enough.
something, yeah.
I used to love water skiing. I
Oh.
could really rip it on the water. That was fun, but only I would never go slalom because I liked my knees next to each other,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
not. But I love ripping through the wake and all that.
Yeah,
but
that's fun.
I don't know if I could do it anymore with my torn biceps. I haven't tried it. Holding on, like I feel like they might pop a little more. So I don't want that to
Don't do
really
that.
happen. But normally my buddy Robert, he's got a boat, and on my birthday, he's like, all right, let's go water skiing. But we haven't done it in a couple years, so. But I do like skiing. Yeah, skiing's good. I wouldn't like go snow skiing in Denver, or I wouldn't Colorado. I'd break my head. I wouldn't be that dumb to do that. But yeah,
when we
it's-
went
it's
5
fun.
years ago, I did not snowboard. Everybody else we were with snowboarded. I
Yeah.
did not. I hadn't been in a long time, and I just
Yeah.
didn't want to break anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've already broken both your wrists. You don't
Correct.
need more.
Yeah,
I've broken
right.
so many things. I don't even
Yeah,
add that to
yeah.
the
And
list.
snowboarding, I've never tried it. They say it's
hard.
Yeah, really
I've
hard.
actually never been snow skiing. I've only been snowboarding.
Okay.
And I've heard mixed reviews on both that I should try snow skiing, and I just said, I'm good. I'll
Yeah.
get a massage, and
Yeah,
I'll
that
go
sounds
swim-
more my vibe.
Yeah, I'll go swim in the swimming pool, which was cool because the snow was falling while I was swimming laps.
Yeah.
I loved that part. One thing to note about, to your point, Taylor, about the postseason, if season ended today, some teams that are not in it. The Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, we
Right,
expected to be in
right,
it.
right.
Certainly partially due to injury. The Cincinnati Bengals,
Yeah.
we would have expected to be in it for sure.
The Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs
are
are not
in
in
the
there.
postseason.
And that has not, I would say that doesn't have anything to do with injury. Certainly Rashee Rice does come back for the Chiefs. But yeah, those are 3 AFC teams that pre-season we would have all had.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's wild. And that's just showing, I talked about this a little bit with Crosstalk, saying how weird this season is. Like week to week you go and you're like, okay, this team, okay, maybe they actually are good. I feel like maybe the Bucks are the one team where I feel like they're good because even with all of the injuries they're dealing with, they're still winning games and they look good from start to finish in those
Yep.
games. But everybody else at some point this season has had a game where you're like, oh, like I don't know if you're a complete team. Every single team has had that.
Colts. Like there's something in the DNA of the Indianapolis Colts that I just feel like I can't trust.
They got a big one this week with Chargers for sure.
Yeah, and the Colts, the schedule they've played so far hasn't been the toughest schedule. So you want to see them, face one of those teams that has a little more difficulty. I think the teams they've played, they've looked really good. Like Tyler Warren looks incredible.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, I guess DJ. Yeah. He's looked really good. Their run game looks good. Their defensive line, like even kind of beat up. They're missing a lot of corners, and they're still playing decent. So it is kind of like they have a lot of good things, but it is kind of let's see it against one of the better teams.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, look, the NFL's like college. You don't know till about 4 weeks in what you may have, And I think with the NFL, because and think about it, like you can only do so much preparing. They limit you to prepare. Yeah. They limit you to hit. They limit you to practice. You got to wonder, like sometimes, of course you want to have a winning record, in that first quarter of football. But at the same time, you may be trying to figure out, like, can we win with these certain guys in certain groups? Are these plays working? Is this play working? Is this defense working? Is it coverage? Is our zone play? You're figuring it out, especially with a new regime, right? So, there may be something to that, and that's why I always, and even with college, like to me, it's how you finish. Like if you finish strong, like you want to get into the playoffs. But if you win, rip off the last 4 games or 5 games and you win, you look like, all right, it's finally coming together. You hope you're a playoff team at that point, because then you're really dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Forget about what you started.
Stride.
You're hitting your stride. Like everyone thought, ooh, KC's hitting their stride, early stride. Well, they haven't hit it yet. They hit it on and off. We'll see if they can, connect, get that going even further. They seem like they bounced back last week, but we'll see. But yeah, I think it takes time to figure out what kind of team you really have. And then you throw in the injuries. You know what I mean? It's just, kind of a hodgepodge of things. But
yeah, that's where your GM comes in huge as to the depth of your team. But yeah, Florida State fans are sitting here listening to you going, preach, Tom, and it's how you finish, not how you start. Started great with the win against Alabama, and since then have lost 3 in a row. So here's the next 4 for the Colts, like we said, at the Chargers this Sunday, and then play host to the Titans. You'd think that's an easy win. At the Steelers, that's a toss-up.
Yeah.
And then Colts play host to the Falcons, and another team that could be ascending. So it's anybody's game. Yeah. And it's anybody's guess as to what's going to happen as well.
I'll tell you, I'm not that surprised that Pittsburgh's doing pretty well with Aaron. I thought he would, that could be 2 years removed from the injury, and he could still whip it. I know you don't like talking about Aaron Rodgers.
They have a phenomenal defense.
Yeah, no, I mean, just
Mike
he's
Tomlin's
fitting in good.
That has the culture always right. And Aaron Rodgers, I think, has played well.
I don't think I've watched a Steelers game, honestly. I avoid him, but
they played in London 2 weeks ago, and that's when I saw them.
That's right.
Yeah, I've seen obviously clips and stuff on social, but I haven't watched a complete game of Pittsburgh yet, so I can't really tell.
Because you don't want to.
Oh, I hate him so much.
Well, I mean, look, you look at the Ravens. I mean, Burrow's hurt. That division's a little wonky right now.
Aaron, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and completion percentage just 68.8%.
Oh, he's playing some good ball. Just stats. I haven't watched that game.
DK Metcalf, I'm sure the Seahawks miss him, but the Steelers absolutely love him. All right, 1 segment to go. We'll give you today's Terminix Pest of the Day. On the other side, it's 10 to XL, 92.5 FM.
Helmets and heels.
From the Queen Law Group Studios.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a dandy today.
Hey, Jaguars fans, Crown Royal is a proud partner of our Jacksonville Jaguars this season. It's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with the generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. And remember, please drink responsibly.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by Morgan & Morgan. For the people. Dial pound law.
Your favorite band live, First Chord Hits. That's a thrill. But for the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah, what thrill beats them all?
It's the thrill of the win. But I've been there when the worry is real, when the bills pile up, when the pain doesn't quit, and getting the call that says, "We came through for you." That's huge. It's about seeing that weight lift, helping folks walk out better than when they walked in. Yeah, we're built for that.
Call Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask? So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
1010XL and the Jacksonville Sharks congratulate Bishop Kenny QB Gavin Hawkins, the True Vet Solutions High School Player of the Week. Gavin threw 10 for 10 for 272 yards and 6 touchdowns against Ricards.
Football season is here, and the Hills Grill at Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy our tailgate menus and drink specials every Saturday and Sunday. Join us after your round and cheer on your favorite team. That's Hidden Hills Golf Club, Monument Road.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover.
Taylor Dell, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Time now for today's Terminix Pest of the Day is always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINX.com. They do a great job at Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town, as well as at my house, where they also are coming out tomorrow to take care of our pest control issues, or pest issues. All right, today's Terminix Pest of the Day. The fact that the NFL only suspended Brian Branch for one game, I feel like is a little weak. Look, I thought he would be suspended, and he was the pest of the day yesterday for his actions. But the NFL, I feel like, could have sent more of a statement. Like, if you're going to, this is a violent game. If you're going to take action after the game has ended and then cause the blood that we saw in Juju Smith-Schuster, which, look, some people defended Branch and said, Juju deserves to be punched every game. So I get that he probably works on people's nerves. Same with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who was released by the Ravens today. But I just feel like the NFL could do a little bit more in this case and send a better message. I think they should have suspended him for 2 to 3 games. But as we've talked about so many times, the NFL is just here, there, and everywhere when it comes to suspensions. If this had happened to a Jaguars player, I would have been furious. Yeah. Even if it's a Jags player that, at times.
Well, Sharian threw the punch last year.
Right, but that was in retaliation of
protecting
a
us.
It's okay then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I just feel like
I don't know.
I thought it should have been more than just the one game. One game, no one's going to pay attention to that, and I don't think it affects his behavior.
I mean, you just got to worry about setting a precedent, I guess. Remember when Trent Williams punched Richard Sherman after the game?
Yeah.
I don't think that anything happened, did he? Did he get just any kind of punishment?
He probably.
I mean, you can't be hitting guys after the game. I get that. You know, one game, though, I don't know what his contract is, but that's probably a significant. Have to go home to the wife and tell her you're not playing for free.
She probably figured that out pretty quickly.
Yeah, she's like, you were punching somebody.
Way to go,
I don't
dummy.
think that's how the game goes.
I don't think so at all. All right, let's
My
say
pest is Troy Aikman, by the way.
Oh,
that man was getting on my nerves last night.
because of all the
Yes.
anti-Caleb Williams
Oh,
stuff?
my God.
Yeah, I can understand that. All right, let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Yeah, all I see, Hayes, is a fine for Trent Williams when he was punching Richard Sherman, $7,875. That's nothing.
That's nothing.
That was
Yeah.
in 2013.
Yeah, Branch's penalty is he's still on that rookie deal, so it's like $76,000. So luckily he's not making.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's not
the
a
$25 million a
right.
year.
I think he should have been
might be
suspended for
coming
longer,
down.
but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It was that was really peculiar, and what a win for the Chiefs. But yeah, great show coming up on the Frangie Show. Jeff Danzler is going to talk with Frank about Georgia football and all things SEC. So lots to get to as we get closer to another football weekend.
Were you awake last night when Jake Moody kicked that ball?
I was, yeah, I was. Yeah, it was a great night of football. I was really impressed with Atlanta. The only thing Raheem Morris does that I don't agree with is he passed up a field goal with a chance to go up 17 on a 4th and 4, and they didn't get it. That's a big. Going from 2 possessions to 3 possessions, you should take the points there. But beyond that, Atlanta actually could have beaten Buffalo worse than really what it was. The Bills have some massive problems on defense. And the Bears, that was an incredible rally there at the end. Yeah. Credit them. Wet football, and Chicago was ready for it. Washington was not.
And a kicker who made kicks.
Yeah.
How about right off the practice squad?
Yeah, he just hours before found out.
Yeah,
and it's funny. I saw a clip today. He was saying that because it was so last minute, like Cairo was okay, then his groin got re-aggravated, so they're like, all right, you're going to have to kick. And he was like, they put me in a hotel with a twin bed, and I had no hot water, so I took a cold shower before the game and slept in my twin bed.
Sounds like cold showers for Jake Moody.
Yeah, there you go. Now you got to stick with it. Yeah, and the twin bed. But, all right, see you guys.
All right, thanks, Hayes.
So funny.
It's a crazy league.
Oh, yeah.
Cam Little's so good last year, and then obviously has struggled this year. I don't know if it's the yips. I don't know if it's a mental thing, a physical thing. Not sure.
But he kicked his 70-yarder.
Yeah, and
What
the
happened?
preseason.
Yeah.
And since then, he's missed a lot, so that needs to get cleaned up.
Yeah, he does. No doubt. You got to count on your kicker.
The first couple games, it was like, it was windy, and we're like, all right, we got to figure this out.
Yeah, he'll come back. I bet
And
you
maybe the
comes back.
snaps need to improve, too.
Yeah.
Ross Matisic did get trucked at one point on special teams.
It is interesting because the special teams was one of the things we've hyped so much of being the strongest part of the Jaguars. And honestly, like there's even the few punts by Logan, I was like, not the best punt that he's had. We've talked about Ross and some of those snaps. We've talked about Cam Little missing. So there has been some issues, special teams, which were our Pro Bowlers.
And one penalty on special teams on Sunday.
Yeah,
I did think Logan punted better this past Sunday than he had leading into it. But either way, that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show comes up next right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.